From Melbourne, Australia, this is Tom Padula of TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. It's wonderful to be here again this Sunday, the 19th of November, and I am here doing Paradiso, Canto 5 of Paradiso by Dante, and this is La Divina Commedia. And it's a wonderful story, really, of the afterlife, because up to now I've completed the reading of Inferno and, of course, Purgatorio, and they're all available on the YouTube channel and my YouTube channel and Insegna.com and also TomPadula.blogspot.com. However, with Facebook lately, I've been unable to say to them, never delete these particular podcasts, but they give me a 30-day option. I'm not sure whether this will stay on after the 30 days here on Facebook. We'll see. Apart from that, I'm very happy to be back doing my online work in terms of a variety of topics, of activities to do with education, but also to do with self-development in the third age, because this is the right time to exercise our intellect even more. And going online for me means just that. I've been able to do it. Today we celebrated here in Melbourne my sister Carmela's Mass, and also get together with the family. So it's a wonderful day, and I hope that she's looking down on us from Paradiso, and this is Canto 5 for Paradiso, so there are connections there. Now, in terms of, I do a 5-minute introduction first, and then I do 1 hour on this particular topic, La Divina Commedia. And in Canto 5, the structure of paradise is a bit like Inferno. There's a graduation of skies, areas of the sky, of the heaven, that gives the souls that get there a particular blessedness. And we are in Canto 5, so cantos, apart from the first canto, which was Paradiso Terrestre, this was the terrestrial paradise, when you first enter heaven, paradise, and then after that we are in the cielo della luna, the sky of the moon, and from there we'll go to Mercury. And in this particular Canto 5, we move from La Luna right at the end of the canto into the sky of Mercury. So the level of blessedness goes up closer to God. So Paradiso is like this. Right at the top there's God, and of course what happens is that once Dante gets there, he then has to return to earth once again. So his journey finishes. Now, I want to introduce the various heavens. It's the il cielo di Mercurio, straight after cielo della Luna. Then there's il cielo del Sole, and after that il cielo di Marte, cielo di Giove, cielo di Saturno, and then there's cielo delle stelle fisse, and then cielo cristallino, o primo mobile, and then there's Empireo. Empireo is where God resides, in this particular Divina Commedia, of course. Suppose, in my opinion, God is everywhere. He has his hands in all the things that we do as humans, but he gives us free will. In other words, this free will is a bit of a challenge for humans because if you don't use your free will properly, you can end up down there in hell. Or if you use it and you then ask for forgiveness, you end up in purgatorio, and after you've been, you've done your bit there, you can go up to Paradiso. And the level of entry in the Paradiso varies according to one's own blessedness. You have to purify yourself before you get up there. So that's, it's 6:15, so time to start. Okay, as I said, I'd like to start straight away. Now, how do we start? We normally start with an analysis of Paradiso, of Canto 5, and of course, I have the help of those luminaries out there online and in books. So I sort of pick up, the summaries, rather than it's already been done, and they're generally quite good. So, welcome to Enza Menarello. Isn't it lovely for you to come on? Okay, so this is Canto 5 of Paradiso. Let's see what happens. Here, we talk about earthly and heavenly justice, the justice that we're looking for on earth, and the one that belongs to God. So that's that. Then the fact is, God is also merciful. So providence, but justice is there all the time. So he uses providence, and he says, "Okay, I'm going to do you a favor, humans. We're going to give you free will so that you can exercise this free will as you live along." And why do we need to do this? Because we need this knowledge, the vision of heaven in our brain. Because the pursuit of God, in other words, we as humans are limited in our existence, and therefore we want to deal with our own eternal ambitions. That there is a heaven, there is a paradise, but in the good Catholic tradition, there is also hell. It's 50% good, 50% bad in the world. So we have to manage the two somehow, and we're going to make the right decisions. So here we go. Beatrice tells Dante it's no surprise that he's often overwhelmed by the light of her gaze. So let's not forget, Beatrice now is the Virgil in paradise. And she emanates this radiance because she's been in paradise, in the upper levels of paradise, for quite a while. So she says to Dante, you can't really look at me. There's a gaze around me, and until you are ready, you can't really see me properly. So the light proceeds from perfect sight, the perfect sight of God that, she's been able to, well, because of her life and her blessedness, she's up there. Already Beatrice can see that light becoming mirrored in Dante's own mind. In other words, why can't I be like you? Dante says. He doesn't say it, but he means it. She also perceives Dante's next question, which is, if someone fails to fulfill a vow, can something else be offered in place of the vow? So we're now talking about our contract on earth with our religion. So what do we do? What do we take on? What is our vow to God? Are we going to do this? How are you going to do it? And, what happens here? Beatrice already enjoys the perfect sight of a soul who is able to gaze upon God in heaven. So she can see God from afar, of course. Dante's soul doesn't yet enjoy this state. So he only sees God's light reflected through Beatrice. Welcome to Marisa Francavilla. Still, that light is beginning to be reflected in him and as he progresses through the heavens. So as Dante moves up in heaven, he's able to see the souls in paradise a lot better, because the state of blessedness increases as he moves on. Welcome, Ellie Couch, as well. Marisa Francavilla, thank you very much. I won't be able to reply to you guys because otherwise I won't be able to do my work. But I appreciate anyone who comes on and anyone who leaves messages, etc. Thank you very much in advance. Now, Beatrice explains that God's greatest gift is freedom of the will, which is granted to all rational creatures. The significance of vows come from this freedom. A vow, after all, especially a monastic vow, so the people who serve God on earth, is a sacrifice of one's own will to God. You're making a direct contract with God, whereas other people, the humanists, they live on earth and they live a normal life. Nothing, but they have to be good. Nothing can be substituted for a monastic vow. Once you want to go into there, you have to dedicate yourself to God's plan for you. Under some circumstances, though, the church can release people from certain vows. So here's the relationship between God and the church on earth. And we are in the Middle Ages. And this is a time when the church was significant in its power over humans, both spiritually and materially. Welcome to Angela email as well. How then are these things not contradictory? Free will is a gift from God to rational creatures, humans and angels. When a person makes a vow to God, such as a monastic vow, they are essentially returning the gift of the will to God. In such a case, the human and divine wills are in agreement, forming a covenant or contract. It's almost a guarantee that you are going to in God's presence. There is a problem, though, that if you do the wrong thing in a monastic vow, like we've seen in the church in the last few decades, there's been an attack on the church, people who have misbehaved. So in other words, that vow to God has failed, and they will receive just punishment. Beatrice also explains that there are two elements of a vow: the intention to do something and the agreement with God to follow through. And we do that amongst ourselves too. You say something, you've got to follow through. If you don't, then you suffer the consequences, like loss of friendship, loss of this, etc. It's the letter that cannot be nullified, but once you make a vow with God, you can't nullify it. You've got to stick by it. He's very strict. That's the interpretation anyway. So, it's the letter that cannot be nullified, though the particulars of the vow can be modified by the church. But this modification can only be approved by the church. That's the power that goes from God to the Pope and all the other people who follow him, what he says, because he's the representative of God on earth. And there have been some bad popes too, and they've ended up in hell as well. In such a case, the thing substituted for the original vow must exceed the original's worth, something that was not possible with the souls Dante has just met. No matter what, vows are no light matter. So people should be careful when they take oaths. You can't make an oath and say, I'm going to do this, or, I believe that you follow the rule of the church, or other institutions for that matter. Beatrice concludes her explanation and gazes again towards the sun. She and Dante continue their ascent. They go up. Once a person enters into an agreement with God, the agreement itself cannot be nullified. This shows how weighty a matter it is when the human and divine wills come into agreement. However, the precise terms of the agreement can be altered if the church permits this. When a person made a monastic vow, they vowed to practice poverty, chastity, and obedience. They're tough. Poverty, St. Francis of Assisi. Chastity, some of the nuns. And obedience, when you bow to the Pope, whatever he says is God to walk, God to do the crusades, and then you go in his name. And Beatrice explained that there is nothing more valuable that can substitute for this. So we're looking at the wills. Now, the other thing is here too, Dante and Beatrice arrive in the second heavenly sphere, that of Mercury. Mercury is nearest to the sun, so it is often not visible from Earth. Ambitious souls dwell here, especially those who are deficient in the virtue of justice. 1,000 shining souls eagerly approach Dante. On Beatrice's encouragement, Dante speaks to the first soul that approaches him, wanting to know who these souls are and why they dwell here. So Dante wants to know exactly what happens, why are they where they are. Okay, so that's that. That's the introduction. Now I'm going to actually do the reading, the Italian, and I'll try to explain the English. But as I said before, I'm not the expert here on Dante. I read, I do what I can, and I urge you to get yourself a set of books, Inferno, Purgatorio and Paradiso, and you yourself can enrich your own life by reading slowly and enjoying this. So this is already now my work for a couple of years. Cheers. Here we go. Canto 5. S'io ti fiammeggio nel caldo d'amore, di là dal modo che in terra si vede, sì che del viso tuo vinco il valore. Non ti maravigliar che ciò procede da perfetto veder, che, come apprende, così nel bene appreso muove il piede. I'm going to go ahead. See here, so there are explanations in the book. You know, in altri termini significa la visione di Dio, quanto più è profonda, tanto più permette di penetrare ancora maggiormente in Dio. So the more depth you give to your belief, the greater the value of your soul to see the light of God. Io veggio ben sì come già risplende nell'intelletto tuo l'eterna luce, che vista sole sempre amore accende, e s'altra cosa vostro amor seduce, non è se non di quella alcun vestigio, mal conosciuto che qui vi traluce. This is Beatrice here talking. Tu vuoi saper se con altro servigio per manco voto si può rendere tanto che l'anima sicuro di litigio. So she reads his mind and he says, yeah, I know what you're doing. You want to know about the voto, you know, our commitments to the church and what happens, etc. Well, so si cominciò Beatrice questo canto. So she goes and then does what she has to do. She has to guide Dante to the truth about the various levels of paradise. So, tu vuoi sapere se con altro servigio per manco voto si può rendere tanto che l'anima sicuro di litigio. In heaven. That's where she's at. And she's enjoying that. Si cominciò Beatrice questo canto, e sì come uomo che suo parlar non spezza, continuò così il processo santo. So Dante is listening, saying, God, she has come into my into my being, and she's letting me know. She's guiding me somewhere. So, hear what she says. Lo maggior don che Dio per sua larghezza fesse creando e la sua bontade più conformato e quel che più apprezza fu della volontà la libertate, di che le creature intelligenti e tutte sole fuori e son dotate. So all these intelligent people, humans and the angels as well, and so they say, the maggior don, the greatest gift that God gave these intelligent beings, we're not talking here about animals, we're talking about human beings who live in the Middle Ages and before, as long as they were human. The thing is, when I do history, I go right back, and he said there are various levels of humans along the way until we get to where we are today, like us now. Because before there was Cro-Magnon and the other. You got to go to my world history lessons for that. Okay. So these intelligent creatures, they have this free will. So what are they going to do with it? Or ti parrà, se tu quinci argomenti, l'altro valore del voto, se si fatto che Dio consenta quando tu consenti. So ultimately, God allows you the freedom to enter into this vow, if you want to. For Him directly, or by going to the other fellow humans, for humanity, in which case then you have to follow the precepts of the church. So that's it, that's there. So, or ti parrà se tu quinci argomenti, l'alto valore del voto, se si fatto che Dio consenta quanto tu consenti, che nel fermar tra Dio e l'uomo il patto, vittima fassi di questo tesoro, tal qual io dico, e fassi col suo atto. So, you are a victim of this treasure. In other words, use it properly. Use your free will properly. Dunque, che rendere puossi per ristoro? Se credi ben usar quel che hai offerto, dil mal tolletto vuol far buon lavoro. Now this one here, dunque ristoro. L'interrogativo è chiaramente retorico, poiché la risposta adesso non può che essere nulla. Si noti inoltre, era ancora una volta, lo stile scolastico rigorosamente conseguenziale del discorso di Beatrice, ricordando che per Dante il linguaggio scolastico ha un valore figurale, poiché lo considera l'unico possibile in una realtà sovrumana. So Dante, as a poet, had to deal with the way Beatrice talks to him. And she talks to him as if she's the teacher. She's a guide. She's a guide. That's why it says, se credi ben usare quel che hai offerto. So if you are offering to God your vow, then just watch it, okay? Be careful. Tu sei ormai del maggior punto certo, ma perché Santa Chiesa in ciò dispensa, che par contra lo ver chi t'ho scoverto, convienti ancor sedere un poco a mensa, però che il cibo rigido che hai preso richiede ancora aiuto a tua dispensa. So, again, the Italian here is 13th century Italian. It changed a lot, and there have been 700 years plus of people studying Dante and making, giving their version of what he said. So it depends on your level, again, of your vow to read the Divine Comedy, I suppose. It's the same thing. If you commit to it, and I have committed to this, I'm going to finish it. So what did I do? I stopped in July after I had been very faithful each week to do Inferno and Purgatorio. When I got to Paradiso, I was a bit lost in the first few chapters. And I said, what's going on here? It's different from the others. So I gave myself some time to think. And that time, it's you know, it's in November now. So from July to November. And now I am committed to finishing off. So I'm hoping that on Sundays, I'm not going to say the time when I come on. On Sundays, I dedicate part of the day or the evening to Dante. And that's why it's good. Okay, so here we go. Però, che dice? Apri la mente, apri la mente a quel ch'io ti paleso e fermarvi entro, che non fa scienza senza lo ritenere avere inteso. So, open your mind and understand that you can't go further than you can. La scienza. Science is limited. Let's not forget. I always say faith is higher than science. And I also then I add, faith is blind. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean you follow rigidly what's expected of you, regardless of whatever. So whatever you have committed yourself to and you live by it, you have to live by it, even at the risk of your own death. And that's what it's unusual, but some people are able to do it. Some saints have done that. They rather die than betray their belief. Ok. Due cose si convengono all'essenza di questo sacrificio. L'una è quella di che si fa, l'altra è la convenienza. Quest'ultima giammai non si cancella se non servata, e intorno di lei sì preciso di sopra si favella. Però necessitato fu agli ebrei, pur l'offerere, ancor che alcuna offerta si permutasse come saver dei. I find that, Robbie John, thank you for coming on, and Libby Petrella too. Welcome. So, this now, this is a bit hard for me, so I'm going to look at favella, quest'ultima favella, 48, here we are. Quest'ultima non si può mai estinguere se non col suo adempimento, e di questo patto si è parlato prima in termini netti. In other words, you cannot, you can't go against your vow. You must practice it to the end. And so that's one thing. Gli ebrei, I don't understand where they come in. So this one here, here, perciò fu comandato assolutamente, necessitato fu agli ebrei di fare continuamente offerte, sebbene, come tu devi sapere, fosse concesso loro di permutare alcune offerte. So when, in the Old Testament, God said you've got to, make some offerings to God. And when you make these offerings, they can change according to the laws of the particular church, the synagogue, but later on it was the church, the Christian church. So in other words, but let's not forget that Christ came from, from those lands that have been in fighting, trouble. They've had trouble all along for a long time. But that's how it is. That's how it is. So that also applies to us. Watch it. L'altra che per materia aperta puote ben essere tal che non si falla se con altra materia si converta, ma non trasmuti carco alla sua spalla per suo arbitrio alcun, senza la volta e della chiave bianca e della gialla. E ogni permutanza credi stolta, se la cosa dimessa in la sorpresa come il 4 nel 6 non è raccolta. Again, you can see the way these are all images, and each image can be interpreted in particular ways. But once you interpret it properly, you open the key to what you have to do. So here we go. Ma non gialla, ma nessuno alleggerisca arbitrariamente il peso del voto imposto alla sua spalla senza il consenso dell'autorità ecclesiastica, la chiave bianca e della gialla. So in other words, if you are part of the Catholic Christian faith, you have to follow the church's rulings. You can't just do whatever you want. And in fact, when the church decided that people had to pay money in order to go more quickly to heaven, that was a misuse, but people had to do it because that's what the church wanted. Now, but if then the church created these laws and they were the wrong laws, by the Pope would be punished. So in other words, his vow was that you're going to look after God's given gifts of free will, and you have to teach that to others to practice it as well, including all those people under your direct command. That's governance for you. Però qualunque cosa tanto pesa per suo valor che tragga ogni bilancia, soddisfar non si può con altra spesa. So in other words, you have to balance things off. You can't alter. You can't alter. Non prendan gli mortali il voto e ciancia, siate fedeli e a ciò far non bieci come Jepte alla sua prima mancia. Jepte. Who is this guy? 66. So I'll look up the note. Non prendono gli uomini mortali il voto della leggera nel fare I voti, siate fedeli alla loro osservanza, siate... And this Lepte, giudice di Israele, che durante la guerra contro gli Ammoniti fece voto, se avesse vinto, di sacrificare a Dio la prima persona che al rientro gli fosse venuta incontro. They said, if you let me win against the Ammoniti, I'm going to kill this person and of course, to thank you for your help, direct help. Welcome to Jason Cavonitis. Okay. Tornato vincitore. Now, I just said before that I can't reply to you because otherwise I won't be able to finish my work. But thank you to all who have come on so far. Tornato vincitore, la prima persona ad andargli incontro fu la sua unica figlia. The only daughter he had came back. Ed egli, per tener fede al voto fatto, la fece uccidere. So that's tough. That's tough. Your only daughter. God, if you let me win, God, if you let me have 1 billion people watching me, and I make un voto, and then God, when 1 billion people are there, he says, you can't go back now, Tom. You have to do what you promised. I'm not asking. Even if no one comes on, I'll still do this. Not a problem. No vows from me. I'm a Tommaso. Tommaso, of course, when you sit on the fence, unfortunately, you see the good and the bad. And therefore, people truly believe one or the other, they are superior to the person who stays in the middle. But with that person there, the two, it's like the diplomatic core, you have to be able to balance, the bilancia. You have to find the right way. And the people who actually have a very particular belief, one way or the other, cannot do that. They're committed. So we need everything in life as well. Non prendano gli mortali il voto a ciancia, siate fedeli a ciò far non bieci, come Jepte alla sua prima mancia. First time, Jepte, now we know who was, un giudice di Israele, cui più si convenia dicer mal feci che servendo far peggio e così stolto ritrovar poi il Granduca dei Greci, onde pianse Efigenia, il suo bel volto, e fe piangere di sé I folli e I savi, c'udir parlar di così fatto colto. So then Dante goes back to the Greek and the Roman mythology, and says and there are other examples amongst those, and we're talking about here il Granduca dei Greci. And who was il Granduca dei Greci? Ifigenia ebbe a dolersi della propria bellezza perché il padre aveva promesso agli dei di sacrificare la cosa più bella che avesse, purché questi avessero venti favorevoli alla flotta greca when they went to Troy. He says, if you'll give me the right winds, I'll give you the most beautiful thing that I have. And it happened to be his daughter, Ifigenia. Cruelty. Ok. Siate cristiani e muovervi più gravi. Non siate come penne ad ogni vento. So be Christians and move più gravi. Siate e muovervi più gravi. Be more serious about your faith. Non siate come penne ad ogni vento e non crediate che ogni acqua vi lavi. And don't believe that you can be forgiven for everything that you do wrong. Avete il Nuovo e il Vecchio Testamento e il pastore della Chiesa che vi guida. So you got the Old Testament and the New and the Pope that guides you. Questo vi basti a vostro salvamento. This is enough for your salvation. Well, let's not forget that Dante had gone to the Pope to ask for certain things to back up the people in Florence. And when he came back to Florence, they said, if you come back, we're going to imprison you. So he was exiled. And then they offered him to go back to extinguish his exile, but he didn't. He said, no, not on your conditions. So Dante was true to his word as well. Very nice. So this way you get, by reading La Divina Commedia, you get to know the Florence of the times, Italy of the times, what happened in Europe, what happened before, during the Roman times, before that, in Israel, in the Greek, etc., etc., etc. So reading Dante Alighieri is not an easy task, but it extends your vision of history and your knowledge of the past. Questo, so, he says, avete il Nuovo e il Vecchio Testamento e il pastore della Chiesa che vi guida. Questo vi basti a vostro salvamento. Se mala cupidigia altro vi grida, uomini siate, non pecore matte. Uomini siate, be men. It didn't mention women, but women are also included in men in Italian. Okay, when you say a generic word, when you say men, it also includes women, according to me as well. Because, you know, otherwise it gets complicated. Men and women, they're repetitious. Or one of these days, let's say, just say women. But in the creation, man was made first. And then after he was made, the woman was taken out of his side and she became woman. That's why, you know, in the religious sense, a lot of the beliefs of the past depended on this understanding. So, se mala cupidigia altro vi grida, uomini siate e non pecore matte, sicché il giudeo di voi tra voi non rida. Non fate come agnel che lascia il latte della sua madre, è semplice e lascivo, se come medesimo a suo piacer combatte. So, again, these are other images about la pecora, l'agnello, etc., etc. You know, the mother's milk, etc. So don't be like that. Just do the right thing, and yeah, so that you don't make, you know, the Judeo amongst you laugh. In other words, people in the Old Testament, you are Christians now. The Old Testament is past, so don't say under the guise of Christianity you want to bypass certain things that they understood. So be above all that. Così Beatrice a me così Beatrice a me come io scrivo. So this is what Beatrice said to me as I write. So he pulls himself out of paradise and he becomes the writer, because he knows from paradise when he gets back he has to write. He says, this is what Beatrice told me. So I didn't say it, she said it. Believe it at your own pressure. Così Beatrice a me come io scrivo, poi si rivolse tutta distante a quella parte dove il mondo è più vivo. So after she gave me this lesson, she turned around and I think she said, it's time for us to go to il cielo di Mercurio. A bit hot there because closer to the sun. Lo suo tacere, il trasmutar sembiante, può essere silenzio al mio cupido ingegno, che già nuove questioni aveva davanti. So, after I've learned this lesson here, is he going to be satisfied? No. He's already building up other questions for Beatrice to answer. E siccome saetta che nel segno percuote pria che sia la corda queta, così corremmo nel secondo regno. E come saetta, vroom, like an arrow, they went fast. So in other words, he's learned his lesson in il cielo della luna, now they go to il cielo in the heaven of Mercury, and to get there, they go very quickly. Boom. And of course, Beatrice is in front. And Dante, who has received the blessings of Cielo della Luna, can go up to Mercury. Quivi la donna mia vidio si lieta. She looked a little bit happier. Come nel lume di quel cielo si mise, che più lucente se ne fe il pianeta. So, you know, it was like going from a place where there was a little light to one that was even greater light. Ah, fantastic. E se la stella si cambiò e rise, qual mi feci io, che pur da mia natura trasmutabile son per tutte guise. So, me too, I understood that I had changed as a result. Come in peschiera che tranquilla e pura trangosi i pesci a ciò che vien di fuori, per modo che lo stimin lor pastura, si vidio ben più di 1000 splendori trarsi ver noi e in ciascun su dia. So when he went up to Mercury, all at once, like a fish in the sea, all these souls came towards me. Ecco chi crescerà i nostri amori. So they all wanted to talk to him, but there's only one person who does. E siccome ciascuno a noi venia, vedeasi l'ombra piena di letizia, nel folgor chiaro che di lei uscia. So all these souls in Mercury, it's a place that's hot, it's tropical in terms of heaven. Pensa, lettore, se quel che qui si inizia non procedesse come tu avresti di più severa e angosciosa carizia. E per te vedrai come da questi m'era indisio d'udir lor condizioni, siccome agli occhi mi fur manifesti. So, by looking at them, my desire was, why are you here? That's what he's saying. O bene nato a cui veder li troni del trionfo eternal concede grazia prima che la milizia s'abbandoni, dell'umo che per tutto il cielo si spazia, noi siamo accesi, e però se disii di noi chiarirti a tuo piacer ti sazia. So someone offers him to explain why they are there. So ask and we shall give you. I mean, they're in paradise. They can't say no. So it gives him an opportunity to ask questions. Così da uno di quegli spiriti pii detto mi fu. So that's what uno spirito pio, pious spirit in heaven, he said, ask us, I'll represent the others, ask me and I'll tell you. E da Beatrice, and Beatrice then turns toward him, di sicuramente e credi come a Dio. So ask and believe as if it was God asking you. Because these people here belong in the paradiso by God's will. So they can't really tell you the wrong thing because God is the truth. Io veggio ben siccome tu t'annidi nel proprio lume e che degli occhi il traggi perché corrusca sì come tu ridi, ma non so chi tu sei, né perché aggi, anima degna, il grado della spera che si vela a mortai con altrui raggi. So this guy says, I can see you want to ask questions, etc. But you're not one of us. You know, you sort of going through. You must be a very important person that God saw. But you're a person. You know, you're not one of us. So how about telling me who you are? That's how he does it. Questo diss'io diritto alla lumera che prima m'avea parlato, ond'ella fessi lucente più assai di quel che ella era. Ah, so this was Dante, questo diss'io diritto. So Dante says, io veggio bensì come tu t'annidi nel proprio lume, how you are, e che degli occhi il traggi perché corrusca sì come tu ridi, ma non so chi tu sei né perché aggi anima degna, you know, your worth soul, il grado della spera che si vede. So in other words, the graduation of blessedness, that's what he's talking about. Ai mortal con altrui raggi. So, questo diss'io diritto alla lumera che prima aveva parlato, had asked, said to him, ask me whatever you want, ond'ella fessi lucente più assai di quel che l'era. Siccome il sol che si cela egli stessi per troppa luce, come il caldo arrose le temperanze di vapori spessi, per più letizia si misi nascose dentro al suo raggio la figura santa, e così chiusa mi rispose nel modo che il seguente canto canta. So, and he says, and he went back in his light amongst the other souls, and then he sort of told me why they were there in that particular place, in that particular level of blessedness in heaven. Now, it's 6:57, and when did I start? See, 6:10. Wow. So I have to finish in a quarter of an hour. I think I can make it, but if I go a little bit further, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's it for Canto 5. I hope you enjoyed the explanation of it. Next week will be Canto 6. And I'll come up. As I said, if you want to do yourself a favor, if you are interested in Dante Alighieri is also available online, and the translation of it and the notes. It's huge. It's a huge study of Dante everywhere. I prefer books as well. I do both. I always said that I do both. I do not deny the advantages of online, but at the same time, there are advantages with the written word in books. Now, I'm going to read two of my poems from Amica Poesia number 2. And this one here is my number 2 Amica Poesia, and I don't have many copies. I want to print this again, but I don't have my originals. Unbelievable. Okay, Una Rosa. Last week I did the introduction and un bocciolo. This Una Rosa. Quella rosa è sbocciata stamattina, è già fiorita la sua bellezza, è strepitosa come una diva al culmine del successo, è abbagliante alla vista. Desideravo quei petali rossi, la sua perfezione, che stupido sono stato ieri, non l'ho colta, è già quella rosa sbiadita, finita. So, there's a problem here. That rose came to be, okay, and I could have picked it up at the height of her success, but I didn't. And was I stupid yesterday by not picking it up? Because that rose now is already finished. It died on its plant, on the plant. So do you pick the rose at the height of her success, or do you let it go and enjoy its full life from beginning to end as a rose? So even my poetry needs a bit of explanation sometimes. This one here is called Rosa Amor, amore di rosa. That's what it means, Rosa Amor. È stato oggi, ho colto una rosa tra le tante del mio giardino. Say there, eh? I picked one up. Strano, giammai ne uccisi così. It's a strange, I actually killed it. In mano, tra le mie dita, accarezzai il profumo, i delicati petali, le tenere e giovani spine. The thorns were giovanili, they didn't hurt that much. Il tutto ancora sorride divino verso il cielo raggiante, pieno di rondinelle in volo. Love it. It's like swallows in the sky. You know, beautiful, beautiful sight. Bellezza eterna nei miei ricordi. I still remember that rose. Culmine di felicità terrena. Great happiness when you look at a rose and it takes you away. Momento scolpito nei tempi. I still remember the time, the precise time when I did that. T'amo ancora, o profumata rosa. I still love you. Or my rose that I picked a long time ago. So, those are the two poems. That's all I'm giving you today. Because now we got to another one of Tom Padula's pleasures, and that is music, le canzoni. And today I'm going to give you some, they are here, Coro all'improvviso number 12, and here I am. There are, come on, Tom Padula. Where is it? Yes, here it is. There we are, enjoy. Yes. This is Coro all'improvviso number 12, and this is the second set of 3 songs that we're going to do. And we dedicate this to Dean Martin. He's a great Italo-American, and we love him as much as Frank Sinatra and all the other singers of Italian extraction from the USA and other parts of the world. So this is dedicated to us who live outside of Italy. Okay, next one. Up. Oh no. Oh no. Come on. You can't do this to me, can you? Yeah, they can, and they do. Okay, let me have a look. Okay, that was that. Let's see if this will do it for me. No. What about the next one? Oh, we've come to the third song of the second set of Coro all'improvviso program number 12. So it's hard to remember sometimes. Here we go. This is called On an Evening in Roma by, again, Dean Martin. And it's difficult. And as Dora was just saying now, no one ever sings it. We haven't heard it. She doesn't know it very well. But here we are remembering Dean Martin. And of course, he's an icon of world songs. So let's do our best on an evening in Roma. Sotto il cielo di Roma. Let's see whether this now will do it for me. No, the songs are not there. I have to restart. So what I'll do, whilst I'm doing all that, I'll talk to you. Okay, here we go. Now, this happens occasionally to me. I don't know why. and I don't know why this happens, but what can I do? When I prepared something, and then it doesn't happen. This is choral improviso number 12. And okay. So let's see. Come on. No. I don't understand. Reload. Back. Yes. I'm reloading. I don't believe this. I don't believe that when you're dealing with computers. But anyway, I know exactly what I'm going to go to, and it's going to take me a little while to get there. But never mind. This is technology at work. I don't understand. I tried it before I actually came on, and unfortunately, it didn't. Everything worked. Everything worked. It's unbelievable. But whilst I'm going back, I just want to remind people that on Sundays I do Dante. On Tuesday, I started with French, the learning of French, and this is series number 2, in French. So series 1 is in the blog section in Insegna.com. Okay, so that's it. Now let me see, because I was able to do this before. There we are. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Where do I have to go to? I have to go to the 13th of July. Okay. And then we'll see whether it works again. If it works, it'll be good. That when you'll be able to listen to the songs. I feel embarrassed here, but anyway, never mind. Almost there. Here we are. Okay, now let's see if this works. This was number 28. Okay, here we go. This one here. Please. Yes. 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 I think it's here. I think it's here. The song is Welcome to My World, Rena. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do it our best, okay. Welcome to my world, won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart. Forgive us, but the idea is for you to actually learn the lyrics. So, and the door will open, seek and you will find, ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting. My God. Ah, Jesus. Some of the songs come out better than others. So the idea is for us to learn the lyrics of the songs, because the lyrics gives us the opportunity to learn the language. Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. This is one of the first few songs in English, by the way, in my choral improviso programs. Welcome to my world, with you in mind. Knock and the door will open, seek and you will find, ask and you'll be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. This is podcast Warts and All. Warts and All. Okay, let's hope that the next bit there works now. Here we go. Now we've come to the third song of the second set of Choral Improviso program number 12. So it's hard to remember sometimes. Here we go. This is called On an Evening in Roma by, again, Dean Martin. And it's difficult. And as Dora was just saying now, no one ever sings it. We haven't heard it. She doesn't know it very well. But here we are remembering Dean Martin. And of course, he's an icon of world songs. So let's do our best on an evening in Roma. Sotto il cielo di Roma. Okay, well, let's have a look. There it is. Here we go. On an evening in Roma, sotto il cielo di Roma. Come bella c'è la luna, brille strette, strette, come tutta bella a passeggiare sotto il cielo di Roma. Down each avenue or via, street or strada, you can see them disappearing two by two on an evening in Roma. Do they take them for espresso? Yeah, I guess so. On each lover's arm, girl, I wish I knew. On an evening in Roma. Though there is grinning and mandolining, sunny Italy, the beginning has just begun. When the sun goes down, so please meet me in the plaza near your casa. I'm only one, and there is one to you. On an evening in Roma. Don't know what the country's coming to, but in Romans do as the Romans do. Really on an evening in Roma. Though there is grinning and mandolin, sunny Italy, the beginning has just begun. When the sun goes down. Come bella c'è la luna, brille strette, strette, come tutta bella a passeggiare sotto il cielo di Roma. Don't know what the country's coming to, but in Rome do as the Romans do. Will you on an evening in Roma? Sotto il cielo di Roma, on an evening in Roma. La 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 la. Now, these are the only songs that, in fact, I have that are in English. You know, a lot of the other ones in Choral Improviso we've done so far. There are programs. Each program is 12 songs. They're always different songs, Italian songs generally. And I'll try to bring in the world Italians outside in the diaspora. But Dean Martin's, Frank Sinatra. But really, most of Choral Improviso is about Italian songs. Okay, now I have to give you one last one, which on that day I forgot to do. So let me see if I no, gotta go the other way. Okay, the last one is Torna Sorrento by Dean Martin, and he did a fantastic job too. He did a fantastic job. So here we are. Let's have a look. We're almost there. One last bit. So far with Choral Improviso, I am. Oh, here we are. I am up to program 19. We've done 16 of them, and I've already prepared another 3. So that's it. So here we go. Now we're going to do Torna Sorrento, but here we go. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Oh, I didn't do something else. Oh, never mind. I can do it after this. Okay. Here we go. Thursday, the 10th of August, 2023. How time flies. And last time we didn't sing the last song by Dean Martin. That was Come Back to Sorrento. And he sings it. He makes, of course, he distorts some of the Italian words all'americana, but he gets away with it because Dean Martin would get away with anything anyway. His style was such a crooner, you know, a guy like that, a real performer and entertainer. We love you, Dean Martin, wherever you are in the sky. I hope you are a good star and keep on singing.
Have a thought for us.
When we get there, sing to us.
Make a thought for us that we're still here.
That's it. Okay, well, we're going to sing this one here, Torna Sorrento of Dean Martin, but we're going to, you know, do our own version, of course, following his style.
His style of it.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go. Okay, well, let's go. Here we go. Torna a Sorrento, Dora.
Vai.
Guardare come bella,
ispira tanto sentimento, come il tuo solo accento, che nel gesto fa sognare. Senti come le sale dai giardini odoranci, un profumo non va uguale per chi palpita d'amore. E tu dico parta Dio, t'allontani dal suo cuore, questa terra dell'amore hai la forza di lasciare. Ma non mi fuggir, non darmi più tormento, torna Sorrento, non farmi morire. Dove? Smilingly I saw you taking all that once you loved forsaken, and I felt my heart was breaking. Oh, how could you go away? Ma non mi fuggire, non darmi più tormento, torna Sorrento, non farmi morire. Welcome to Carmela Galante. This is the end of the program, of course, and I'm going to finish off soon, next minute. And I want to thank all those people who come on today. Now I will finish off, and this particular podcast will be available on my Facebook page straight away. Everything going well, okay? So thank you very much for today. It's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers with Dante Alighieri's Divina Commedia and the third book of Paradiso. Ciao, alla prossima.